In this class, we are going to proceed with our revision class on the topic laws of chemical reaction, chemical formula, and equation. If you are a JAMB candidate, I entreat you to watch this video to the end, okay? Now let's proceed to the next question. A balanced chemical equation obeys the law of A. Conservation of mass, B. Definite proportions, C. Multiple proportions, D. Conservation of energy. The correct option to this question is option A, conservation of mass. And this law states that in the course of a chemical reaction, mass is neither created nor destroyed. If you look at the remaining option, they do not apply directly to chemical equation. Do you understand? So for that question, option A is correct. Conservation of mass. Okay. Let us proceed to the next question. The numbers of hydrogen ions in 4.9 gram of tetraoxosulfate 6 acid is A. 3.01 times 10 raised to the power of 22, B. 6.02 times 10 raised to the power of 22, C. 3.01 times 10 raised to the power of 23, D. 6.02 times 10 raised to the power of 23. And we are given the atomic mass of the element. We are given sulfur as 32, oxygen 16, and we are given the Avogadro's constant as well. Okay, now to solve this question, let us write the dissociation reaction. H2SO4. We want to write the dissociation reaction. We're going to have this SO4 2 minus plus 2H plus. Okay. So this is the dissociation reaction. To get the numbers of hydrogen ions that can be produced from 4.9 gram of sulfate and tetraoxosulfate, first step is that I have to calculate the moles. Are you getting it? Don't forget the mass of H2SO4. The mass of is what? 4.9 gram. You understand? Okay, and mole is equals to mass all over the molar mass. Are you following? Okay, now let us calculate the molar mass of this. Don't forget that hydrogen atomic mass is 1, where for oxygen is 16, and for sulfur is what? 32. Do you understand? Okay, the molar mass of H2SO4 will be equals to 2 multiplied by 1 plus 32 times 1 plus 16 times 4. Do you understand? Here I'm going to have 2 plus 32 plus 64, and that will give me 98 gram per mole. Do you understand? Okay, so having gotten the molar mass of tetraoxosulfate, now we can proceed to calculate the mole. The mole of H2SO4 will be equals to the mass. Don't forget the mass has been given as what? 4.9 gram all over the molar mass, which is 98 gram per mole, and that will give us 4.9 divided by 98, that is 0.05 mole. 0.05 mole. Okay, now go back to the dissociation reaction. When H2SO4 dissociates, it forms how many moles of hydrogen? That is 2, right? So here I'm going to have, if 1 mole of H2SO4 formed 2 moles of hydrogen ion, now 0.05 mole will form X. You understand? So X will be equals to 0.05 mole multiplied by 2, right? 0.05 multiplied by 2, that is 0.1 mole. Now that means the moles of hydrogen that we're going to have in 0.05 mole of H2SO4 is 0.1. Now to get the mass, to get the hydrogen ion that can be obtained from 4.9 gram of H2SO4, we can now proceed like this. Hydrogen ion will be equals to 0.1 multiplied by the Avogadro's constant, that is 6.02 times 10 raised to the power of 23, and that will give us 6.02 times 10 raised to the power of 22. So the correct option to that question is Let me check, I'm coming. Option B is correct. 0.1 times this will give us this. Now, listen. And if you encounter this kind of question in the exam, you can proceed as follows. Just get the molar mass of the compound. You understand? So having getting the molar mass, calculate the moles. The reason why we need the moles is because we can use that mole to get the mole of hydrogen that is present in the mole of the compound. You understand? Because we've been given the mass. Hello, we've been given the mass of the compound as 4.9. So we can easily get the mole by taking the ratio of the mass and the molar mass. So from the chemical equation, from this dissociation reaction, 1 mole of H2SO4 produce 2 moles of hydrogen, 2 molecules of hydrogen. That means 0.05 mole will produce what? X. And if you take the cross product, you're going to have 0.05, which is this, times 2. That is what? 0.1 mole. And you know, Avogadro's constant is the numbers of mole present in the 1 atom of a substance. You understand? I mean, numbers of atom present in 1 mole of a substance. So I take the product of the mole that I get and the Avogadro's constant that we are given. So, and the resulting answer is this. We've solved series of questions which are related to this kind. Do you understand? So, you can check the link in the description of this video, okay? So, let us proceed to the next question. 2.85 gram of an oxide of copper gave 2.52 gram of copper on reduction. The data above illustrate the law of A, constant composition, B, conservation of mass, C, reciprocal proportions, D, multiple proportions. Okay, let's start by writing out the information that we're given in the question. 2.85 gram of oxide of copper. Copper oxide is this, CuO, okay? And the mass is what? 2.85 gram, okay? Now, on reduction, we have the mass of copper to be 2.52. Are you getting it? The mass of copper. Do you know the mass of both copper and oxygen is 2.85 gram? Now, the mass of copper after reduction is 2.52 gram, okay? The mass of copper. Now, how can I get the mass of oxygen? The oxygen mass will be equals to the total mass, which is 2.85 gram minus 2.52 gram. Are you getting it? So here I'm going to have 0.33 gram, okay? That is the mass of oxygen. Now, let us calculate the moles. Hello? Let us calculate the moles of both copper and oxygen. And do you know that copper, the atomic mass is 63.5 gram per 63.5 gram. That's the atomic mass. So here, let me just put it 63.5 gram, and for oxygen is equals to 16. So the moles of copper the mass, which is 2.52 all over 63.5 gram per mole. Okay, so if you punch your calculator, you're going to have 0.04. So I'm going to have here 0.04 mole. Now let us calculate the mole of oxygen. The mole of oxygen will be equals to the mass of oxygen, that is 0.33 gram all over 16 gram per mole. Okay, 0.33 gram divided by 16 gram per mole, that is 0.04. Wow. 0.04 mole. Okay, so we divide by 0.04. Are you getting it? So here I'm going to have 0.04 all over 0.04, and that of oxygen as well, 0.04 all over 0.04. You know that we are going to divide by the smallest, but you can see that both of them are the same, so the ratio will be 1:1. I hope you understand. It's simple. You see, it's just like you calculating the empirical formula of a compound. You understand? So you can see that the ratio here is 1:1. That means the correct option to that question is option A, constant composition. Option A is correct. I just prove it to you that the correct option is laws of constant composition, and the simple reason is simply because at the end of it we have they are of the same ratio. You understand? If they are in simple ratio, it will be law of multiple proportion, you understand? But here, their ratio are the same. Do you understand? So, and even before calculating, I gave you the compound itself. So you can see we have one atom of what? Copper and that of oxygen, okay? Now, let us proceed to the next question. A sample of substance containing only carbon and hydrogen bonds in excess of O2 to yield 4.4 gram of CO2 and 2.7 gram of H2O. The empirical formula of the substance is A CH3, B CH2, C CH4, D C2H5. We are given the atomic masses of the elements. Now, listen to me carefully. You cannot calculate the empirical formula without first getting the mass of the element that we need. Are you getting it? You know, we need the mass of carbon in CO2. We also need the mass of hydrogen in H2O. Hello? We need the mass of carbon in carbon dioxide. We need the mass of carbon present in 4.4 gram of carbon dioxide. Also, we need the mass of carbon, mass of hydrogen present in 2.7 gram of water. So that is the first thing that I'm going to do. Pay attention. Now, we are given 4.4 gram of CO2. We want to calculate the mass. We want to calculate the mass of carbon present in CO2. Now, carbon is what? 12. Oxygen is 16. Do you understand? Okay, to get the mass of carbon present in 4.4 gram of CO2. This 4.4 gram is the combination of the mass of both carbon and oxygen. Do you understand? So let us first calculate the molar mass. CO2, the molar mass of CO2 will be 16 plus 12. 12 plus 16 times 2. You understand? Here I'm going to have 12 plus 16 times 2 is 32. And that will give you 44. You understand? I'm going to have 44 gram per mole. This is the molar mass, okay? So to get the mass of carbon will be the atomic mass of carbon, which is 12, all over the molar mass, which is 44, multiplied by the mass. So I'm going to have 12 divided by 44 times 4.4 gram. That will be the mass of carbon, the carbon mass. The mass of carbon present in 4.4 gram of CO2. That is the first thing that I will first calculate. And so for this, I'm going to have 12 divided by 4.44 times 4.4. That is 1.2 gram. You understand? So here I'm going to have 1.2 gram. That is the mass of carbon present in CO2. Now, let us calculate the mass of oxygen as well. Now, for H2O, we have 2.7 gram of H2O. To get the mass, the molar mass of H2O is 2 plus 16. That is what? 18 gram per mole. Okay, let me change this marker, okay? Yeah. So the mass of hydrogen in 2.7 gram of water will be the atomic mass, which is 2, all over the molar mass, that is 18, multiplied by the mass itself, that is 2.7, okay? So here I'm going to have 0.3, so here 0.3 gram, okay? So having gotten the mass of carbon in CO2 and the mass of hydrogen in H2O, we can now proceed to calculate the mole. You understand? The mole, carbon, let's have carbon here, let's have hydrogen. The mole is mass all over molar mass. For carbon, it is 1.2, so I'm going to have 1.2 gram all over the molar mass. The molar mass is what? Will be 12, so I'm going to have 12. And that of hydrogen will be 0.3 gram all over the molar mass. That is what? 1 gram per mole. Are you getting it? Here, for this, I'm going to have 0.1, and for this, 0.1 mole. Here, I'm going to have 0.3 mole, okay? Divide by the lowest, that is 0.1, and this over 0.1. So you're going to have 1:3, okay? So you can see that C is 1, so I'm going to have C, which is 1, and H is 3, so I'm going to have H3. Do you understand? So the empirical formula of carbon and hydrogen is CH3. And if you look at the option here, we have option A, CH3. So the correct option to that question is option A. CH3 is correct. Okay. Let us proceed to the next question. The formula of the compound formed in a reaction between a trivalent metal M and a tetravalent non-metal X is A MX, B M3X4, C M4X3, D M3X2. To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section, okay? See you in the next class.